All right. You have been playing another game?
Yes, a game that is still in early access, released
Okay,
into
yeah.
early access. Asgard's Fall, Viking Survivors, or a Vampire Survivor, which I'm now terming as Vamps moving forward.
I like that. Vamps. Yeah,
So
okay.
yes, so it is a it is a Vamp style game. Uh, okay, yep, you got a trailer. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's sort of a pixel art vampire survival vamp style game
Mhm.
where you are playing more with Norse mythology, obviously, as Asgard's Fall might suggest. Um, but it has a very cool sort of leveling and class system, I guess. I guess it's not really a class system. There seems to be three sort of standard archetypes that you can play: a physical melee character with a sword, a bow and arrow character, and sort of like an elemental magic character, I guess. And you get put in these specific arenas, and with all these games, you get waves of different varying types of enemies with different attack patterns and dangerous things. And after you level, you get um, either the role of a different item or weapon to use for your character. So you might
Hmm.
get a spear that lands in an area and does impact damage, and then also radiates electricity in that area. And then you might get one that throws ice spheres around you in a circle and
Hmm.
can freeze people on impact. And then there's different sort of leveling things that you can get for each one of those. But then the other thing is you might also get the ability to put, I think they call them knots,
Hmm.
into this sort of grid. And these knots do specific character upgrades. And it might be, increase your attack speed or make a crit chance higher. And you might also get a knot that then can multiply those advantages. But then you also might get knots that once you get enough buffs from the sort of other buffs that you get, those
Hmm.
knots give you an extra sort of boost that's okay, now every time you dash, you leave a fire trail behind you. Or now if you have two different lightning type of attacks, anytime those two lightning attacks go off near each other, chain lightning will come between them. So
Hmm.
it does actually like a really like sort of really creative systems and a more sort of like dedicate your build while you're sort of building things down, and it's less you're still kind of leaving it to random, but it allows you sort of to make up for the deficits in that randomness
Mhm.
in a way that something like Vampire Survivors didn't really. There's no co-op, still single player. There's 3 maps so far. I've only been on the first 2, and the first one definitely has these pillars that if you stand under for a long enough time, you can get a sort of buff, and they randomly spawn over time. And yeah, it's I like it actually a
Oh,
lot better
wow,
than
okay.
Vampire Survivor. I think it's like a really strong time killer. The runs are a little bit shorter. They're about 20 minutes, where Vampire Survivors is about 30 minutes if you're doing it correctly. Um, and after the first 10 minutes,
Hmm.
you fight a mini boss. And if you can't beat that mini boss within 2 minutes or a minute and a half, then the rest of the monsters start spawning again. And then at the end of 20 minutes, then you fight a larger boss. And there's, advantages and level ups that you can take into future runs. There's a difficulty like sacrifice system where you can keep upping the difficulty and you keep getting more different variations of weapon types
Hmm.
and different things. There's also a rune system where you get like permanent, well, not permanent upgrades, but items drop in the maps, and then you sort of lay them out on a grid. And they have different levels of rarity, and those things can basically give you like very large advantages going in. So, like, 50% to your attack speed and stuff as you start, or like lifesteal, vampirism on your elemental attacks and stuff like that. A boost to like 100% of your times electric damage and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's really interesting. I think if you're a super math nerd, about those sort of systems, you can really get in there and like come up. Oh yeah, there's the sort
That
of like
looks
war
cool.
paint system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it has like a lot of stuff to sort of mess around with, and clearly like I haven't at least seen a roadmap. I could be wrong, they may have posted one, but just in game they have definitely slots for way more maps upcoming, and I think this trailer even that we've been watching specifically mentions that there be other character types and stuff coming
Hmm.
also. So yeah, it's if you're into those Vampire Survivor games, what is it, Bartro, I think is the other one. What's the potato one? I
Uh,
never remember what that one's called.
Rotato? I don't even know.
Rotato, it might be, I don't
Potato,
know.
yeah.
Mhm.
Rotato, yeah,
One of
there's
Johnny's absolute favorite games. I
Yeah,
always say
yeah,
him for
yeah.
Potato.
This if Johnny was here, I would highly recommend Johnny to check this one out.
Yeah, these
It's
kinds of
real
games,
strong.
they have to do something different because you've actually reviewed a couple in the past too, which are like, okay, it's trying something a little bit new, but they're still kind of working through some stuff. So anytime these games do something unique and fun, I think that is, you can still have that backbone, but give me something fresh to go into. Because I don't just want to reskinned Vampire Survivors. I want ideas like this where you're actually, doing the war paint and the tattoo or whatever, the runes and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a really cool, it's a cool idea. So
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about before at actually PAXs where it's like, sometimes it feels like a lot of these games come out and it's, it ends up being like, oh, it's this, but with co-op, or it's this, but now you can play with 8 people, or
yeah.
like this feels like it's like, no, it's Vampire Survivors. Like we're not, we're literally have the Viking Survivors as a subtext on Steam. Like, we're not playing around. Like it's just it's just our cool version of that. We hope you like it. So,
Sweet.
yeah,
Sweet.
I've been really enjoying it so far. Perfect Steam Deck game.
Excellent. Excellent. Very cool.